Good morning everyone, bonjour, and welcome back to the chateau. Today, it's Saturday morning, it's fairly quiet, and we're going to do a bit of tidying up and a few chores. But what I wanted to do was introduce a few topics, some long-running, large projects that are running at the chateau currently. I'm going to show you some pictures and talk about it in just a minute. But what I'm not going to do is show you everything, because we're saving a lot of the footage for the special before and after videos that I know you enjoy so much. So I've got a cheat sheet so I don't forget anything, and I wanted to talk 4 big projects that are going on currently. Firstly, flooring. Pretty much all the south side of the chateau on the first floor is waiting for new flooring to arrive. We've been doing lots of posts and updates and talking about it on our Facebook group. We discovered there was some woodworm, some specific deathwatch beetle, it's called in France, that was in some of our old beams and in some of the second level of our flooring. We had floorboards on top, and then old floorboards on top, and then older floorboards underneath. When they'd done a renovation in the past, they'd double skinned it instead of taking things off. I'm not sure why. Anyway, the flooring underneath was in a very bad state, especially with the water that got into the chateau years ago when the roof was in disrepair and needed replacing. So did the chevrons. But as many of you know, there's an international wood shortage and things are hard to find at the moment. So we're on a wait. We've been waiting about 8 weeks so far for our new flooring to arrive, and it's due in a couple of weeks, we hope. At the moment, pretty much all the prep work is done. These rooms are empty, a little bit like this, which is one of the reasons why it makes it very difficult to answer your requests about could you do a tour of the chateau. At the moment, it's fairly dangerous, and a lot of our furniture is shoved into rooms. You can't see behind this camera, thankfully, because we don't have flooring to put things around. So that makes it difficult for us at the moment. The next thing that's been going on is Dependence 1. So dependences are like sheds, and those are the buildings towards the west side of the chateau. And Dependence 1 is the one that's further away. It's the one that used to have the little stream running through it before we moved the stream and put gravel flooring down. So we've been re-flooring that. That flooring's finished. That flooring was readily available, and the chevrons were in good repair, so we didn't need to replace those. Those were mostly oak and other materials. They weren't pine and, attacked by worm like in here. And we put a new pine flooring down on that. So that's fairly complete, but not ready yet. We've got 2 windows to install, and we need to put the doors on the dependence. The doors are being restored, the lovely old doors. The woodwork that's damaged has been repaired. There's new glass going in, and it's getting ready for me to paint it probably this week. And then it needs some new hinges and it'll go up. And again, that room will be ready for a whole before and after revelation for you. The next project overall is windows. I know I mentioned 2 need to go into Dependence 1, but windows across the chateau. Again, we're still waiting for redelivery. We had some bad news a while ago, which we talked about. It was a pretty bad week. When the windows arrived, a lot of them were slightly too large due to a number of factors, but we needed to send some back and get slightly smaller ones. Luckily, that was easily done. There was no real issue, and it didn't cost, which is great news. In fact, the smaller ones are slightly cheaper. But it's cost us in terms of time. So it's another 4-week delay for the new windows to arrive. And again, they should be due here in a few weeks. And then the dining room. What we've been doing in terms of managing these delays is trying to make sure that we march forward with renovations as much as possible. So we've kicked off a new project in the dining room downstairs. You've seen the yellow pipe, and I'll talk about it in the video in some pictures in a minute. But we've made a change in the plan, and I think it's a great change. We've decided to use some materials that came out of the chateau, which is really close to our hearts in the restoring and the preservation. And I'm really pleased it's moving forward. It was a design we never thought of, and it came about through some casual conversation. And yeah, I am really pleased. So that's kicking off. The foundation prep has been going on. There's more works happening the next week, and then the foundation will need to set and cure for a couple of weeks, and then it'll finish off again. But that'll be the floor finishing. We still need then to manage the plaster work and the rest of the room repairs. So we're spreading ourselves around, doing lots of little projects. Not all of them are ready for that after view yet, and some of them might take a few months until they get finally ready for the after, because once the flooring's in, we have plaster and wall repairs to do, and electrics and other things to do around a number of rooms, and those all don't happen overnight. Anyway, I hope you appreciate the update about all the big projects that are going on. It's still really exciting here, and it's great to see things moving, even if it's not finishing a room and moving to the next room. We are still busy all the time. This is really, really important for us, because the room I'm sitting in now is destined to be our family lounge room, and our family would love to lounge in this room. In this video, we're also going to show some videos I took about a day in the life at the chateau, because, as I say in the video, it's not always drinking champagne. As you can see, workwear today. The work gloves are handy, but behind the camera somewhere. And I'll be doing many things today which, building site renovation orientated, as opposed to relaxing with a cool drink in hand. I hope you enjoy the video. Thanks for watching.
This picture shows some of the old flooring coming out. You may have heard us talk about the fact that we need to remove some of the old flooring because the underlayer and some of the beams or chevrons have had some woodworm in it and aren't strong enough for our family or for ongoing use. It's been a bit of a shock to us, but we've come to terms with it and we're moving on with the work. Currently, most of the south side of the first floor of the chateau is ready for the new flooring to be laid, and we're just waiting for the flooring to be ready. We next move into the works that are happening in the dependents, and here you can see pictured the lovely old doors in that fantastic marble surround. The doors had been damaged on the bottom by years of exposure to the running water that used to go through the room, and the hinges were rusted. The floor inside had also been rotten due to many years and layers of dirt sitting on it and 2 open windows. The flooring was easily removed, most of the chevrons are in good condition, and it was managed to be replaced quite quickly. We then moved to the outside. You can see the stairway that's going in to reach the new flooring and the work that's being done to replace the old oak rotten window frame and then get ready for inserting a new window when it arrives. There's a treasure we haven't yet processed on any of the groups, shown here. It's a piece of tin which would have been used to cover a hole or some deformation in the old flooring, and we hope to do a rubbing of it and find out what it says and preserve it in the chateau. We then move on to our other major project, windows. This is one of the windows that was replaced recently. Luckily, I don't think we managed to damage any of that beautiful wallpaper, but that's for another story. You can see the window from the outside of the tower being replaced here. Looks like fun work. Unfortunately, which made us very sad, a large number of the windows we ordered had to be returned as they were slightly too large to fit into the tight marble window surrounds. The next major room we've done work on is the dining room, where we've thoroughly changed the approach to flooring. We've excavated under the old pine flooring, and we've implemented what I joked and called the yellow snorkel the other day, which is a perforated pipe designed to air the new foundation, which will be made of small stones in a layer, and then a lime mortar mix in a layer. And then we're going to lay the beautiful old tomettes that were taken out of the grenier top level of the chateau. We didn't have a plan to reuse these, so we're thoroughly excited they're going to take prime position in one of the major rooms of the house.
I assume a lot of you are curious about what chateau life is, especially chateau restoration. It's not all champagne. In fact, today it's the task of emptying out some rubble from clearing the ceiling to get ready to put some new beams in, and it is shovel 2 buckets out to the trailer. But the good news is it gets us time to see discoveries. In fact, my 4-legged friend has just walked off with part of the discovery. Well, come back here. That's not part of the rehearsal. So, having recreated the scene after my faithful 4-legged furry friend helped out in clearing out the rubble, I found a little, what I assume is a mouse's nest from under the floor. And in here is a little treasure. It's a little piece of paper. Oh, bell came off. It says Ile-de-France Luxe. And I have no idea what it is. And I just dropped it. Here we go. So it's got some kind of dye on it, but that could be from being with the rest of the stuff in the mouse's nest. I don't know, maybe one of you knows what it is. It's upside down now. Almost looks like it could be from a packet of stamps or a packet of cards or a soap. Looks like it's folded in a little square there. Can you see it? Looks like it wants to tuck in a tab. Anyway, a small little treasure, the kind of things you find when you're going through this stuff. Enjoy.
Something else recently at the chateau is we got a ride-on lawnmower. It's a fantastic tool, and I've never had anything like it before. It's a lot of fun. But it's also like restoring a chateau, ploughing ahead, and what feels like going backwards is sometimes just going back over things to make sure they're cut or done as well as possible. And then with a bit of a jolt, we're ploughing on again.
This is time to try out the wedding video, the anniversary video.
It's plain. What the fuck?
Oh, you want some cream too, man? You can't tell the difference in my beard. So it should be quite simple. We're just going to carry this in. Which side are you going on? We'll get that side. Are you ready?
You go that way. Careful. No, babe, stop.
Stop what?
Go that way.
You need to twist it to go in?
No.
Don't drop it.
You need to drop it.
Upside down.
Very funny.
You
Keep
want to carry
going.
it upside down.
No, no.
Don't drop it. You want to turn it around?
Right, in.
I'm cleaning out the house. It's not a work day today, it's a Saturday. And, well, it's not a work day in terms of day of the week, but it's a work day for us. And I'm cleaning out the house, getting ready for the next week's worth of work. And part of what's going is something we talked about on our Facebook group, maybe on the page, maybe on Instagram, I'm not sure. That'll be Sneeder's question to answer. Which was a discovery found underneath the floor above the entrance hall in the room which is the library, the bibliothèque. And it's a whole bunch of charcoal. You can see this is where it was concreted. I'm not sure that's an exact joint, maybe it is. And if I come up close, you can see all the bits of charcoal in there. Rather large lumps concreted in. And this is under 2 levels of floor. So this is very old. Yeah, so if we think about the top piece of flooring being somewhere between 50 and 100 years old, that means the second level of flooring would be the same, which means it's somewhere between 100 and 200 years old, given it was the foundations for the 2 levels of flooring. So I don't really think there's a need to keep a piece. I'm not going to keep a piece for posterity. According to the research, the group's consensus is that it's being used for dampness and humidity as an absorption. It was just on one area, so it's just one long strip along the room, a 6.5 meter long strip. So that's it. It's going to go to the tip, and it's going to, well, charcoal is going to compost into something which is going to grow a lovely flower, and the concrete's going to grind down into dust over lots and lots of years. That's my plan for the day. Finish this off.
If you would like to follow us on any of our other social media channels, you can do so on Instagram at Château de Capelle, on Facebook on our public page, which is also Château de Capelle, or the private group, The Chronicles of Château de Capelle. For more information, you can have a look at the description on this video. Thank you for watching, and we hope you have enjoyed it. See you soon.